Next season, Formula One will witness some of the biggest rule changes in the sport's history. With a brand new engine will come brand new aerodynamic regulations, and that poses a huge problem for the teams. It is a lot to handle all at once, and the competitive order could be completely upset next season. Of course, that sounds like a great thing for Formula One. New teams could rise to the top, and mid-season upgrades could have a huge impact as the teams find new development paths. However, there is potentially a darker side to this. It is something that the FIA have thought about and have tried to negate as much as possible, but next season could be an embarrassment for the sport, and the FIA are worried. Today, I'll check out the worrying interview with the FIA's head of single-seaters Nikolas Tombazis, so don't go anywhere. Formula One's all-new 2026 cars will be hitting the track for the first time in 4 months, when the official private test takes place at Barcelona next January. The sport's governing body have moved to create a more agile car that's both shorter and narrower than the current F1 machines. They've slashed the wheelbase by 200mm to 3,400mm, while the width has been cut by 100mm to 1,900mm. The floor width has been cut by 150mm too. All that, along with some tyre changes, means the cars will be 30 kilograms lighter next season. It isn't masses overall, but it is a step in the right direction. Active aerodynamics make a return to Formula One with a new system in place, which looks to replace DRS and thus improve wheel-to-wheel racing. In essence, drivers will be able to adjust their front and rear wings to potentially maximize straight-line speed by switching to X mode. Z mode will then be deployed through corners. That is a necessary addition because of the new engines. The major change on the power unit side comes with a 300% increase in electrical power coming from the battery alone. The power unit has also been simplified with the removal of the MGU-H. The new electrical power can be deployed in overtake mode, not dissimilar to that used in Formula E. Of course, alongside those changes comes the 100% sustainable fuels. All of that sounds very exciting for the tech heads out there, but for fans who just want to watch some racing, will they be good changes? Well, we don't know at the moment, but an interview that Nikolas Tombazis gave in Monza last weekend implies that the racing might not be great. The FIA's head of single-seaters, who essentially manages the rules for every single-seater series the FIA manages, covered a wide range of topics in the interview, with lots of interesting stuff about how the engines will work and why certain decisions have been made, but one part really stood out. The final question asked to him was, will the teams be ready for 2026? Will there be extensions? To which he answered, not all teams will be ready for 2026. There will be a lot of new things to manage, so some won't be up to par. Others will have misunderstood something early on and will have to catch up. Significant performance fluctuations are expected in the early stages. For the last 2 seasons of these current regulations, we've been blessed with incredibly close racing. Often, less than a second separates the top 10 cars in qualifying. That is fantastic, as you can never quite be sure how every team is going to perform, which is really exciting. From what Tombazis has said, that isn't going to be the case next season. It seems entirely likely that what we'll end up with is a multi-tiered series, where there is hopefully more than one team at the top, but maybe just one, who have found something no one else has and are utterly dominant. Then below them, you could have those who have a decent car but haven't quite found anything to give them an edge. Then at the bottom, you'll have the teams who simply are not ready for the new regulations. This worry is backed up by something that the brake manufacturer Brembo revealed to the race recently. Brembo said that the teams were all going in shockingly different directions with their designs. When preseason practice starts, it'll be fascinating to see what each team is doing, but once the racing starts, any large performance differences are going to be a problem. Teams will either misunderstand the rules, miss something that others haven't, or go down routes which won't lead to performance gains. To make it even harder, they have nothing to benchmark themselves against. The teams don't know how each other are doing on key performance indicators. Mercedes could believe they've built the next RB19, while Audi are actually smashing them on everything from top speed to downforce. They just don't know. And something Tombazis has seen has got him worried. However, the FIA is prepared for there to be some problems. The teams already have the sliding scale of testing time to help with the aerodynamic side of things. If they're performing poorly in the Constructors' Championship, then they'll be given more time in their wind tunnels and more computational flow dynamics testing time to try and find improvements. But with new engines, the teams might need help there as well, and the FIA has recently covered that up. Before I talk about it though, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch all the news in the lead up to the historic 2026 season, then make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. Formula One bosses have agreed to a mechanism that would allow engine manufacturers facing a performance shortfall under next year's new rules to catch up. Next season's engine regulations will run until the end of the 2030 season. They've been modified recently so that it's easier for any manufacturer whose engine is short of performance to close the gap to its rivals. The teams have all agreed that engine performance should not be the lone differentiator between different teams' performance. So if there is a team that is significantly weaker, they need to be able to catch up. The rules basically stop a 2014 Mercedes situation from happening again, when the Silver Arrows had an engine that was so much better than the rest of the grid that it didn't really matter what else they did with their car, as they simply had far more power. An appendix of F1's 2026 technical regulations lays out that if the power of anyone's internal combustion engine is ever more than 3% below that of the best one, that manufacturer will be granted additional development opportunities and more test bench running. Nikolas Tombazis revealed some of the details of the rules by saying, "We've introduced a program for this that we call Additional Development Opportunities for Performance Gaps. It was in the rules from the beginning. In recent months, we've refined how we want to manage it. Essentially, we'll measure the average performance for each manufacturer every 6 races. For those below a certain level, there'll be an upgrade option depending on how far behind." Tombazis explained that the trailing manufacturers can bounce back in 3 ways. He added, "This can be represented at 3 different levels: more money for development, more dyno hours, more time for specification homologation. So those who are behind have a chance to catch up." There are worries that these rules will end up playing out like the World Endurance Championship's controversial balance of power or BOP rules. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has previously said that he would never participate in a series that had that style of rules. While Tombazis denied the similarity, he emphasized that the FIA was making final adjustments to ensure the same rules apply to all engine suppliers and teams, while providing struggling teams a much-needed push to improve their competitiveness. The FIA head said, "That's not the case. The rules remain the same for everyone. No one gets more displacement or more fuel. If there were no budget cap, the lagging manufacturers would invest more money. When Honda entered in 2015 and was lagging behind, they had to invest a lot of money for a certain period of time to catch up. With a cost cap, there's a risk that you'll never be able to catch up, and no one wants to be humiliated forever. That wouldn't be fair either. We're currently working on the final adjustments to this system. The engine manufacturers have been extremely cooperative." Given that the 2026 cars will be entirely new, Tombazis revealed a system through which a manufacturer will be able to upgrade their components in case of reliability issues in the early stages. He explained, "There's also another initiative. If someone has major reliability issues at the beginning, they can also upgrade. It's pointless to leave someone out in the cold who has engine failure every weekend. These engines are expensive. In extreme cases, someone would quickly reach the limits of the cost cap if they don't simultaneously scale back development. This proposal still has to be approved. One idea is that once a certain number of engines are used, additional units will be exempt from the budget cap. So while there are rightly concerns over the aerodynamic side of the regulations, it seems like the power unit side at least will be very well managed if there are any problems with teams being significantly slower." But does what Nikolas Tombazis said worry you? Do you think we could see one team be by far the fastest while the others all fall behind? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.